everyone. Souha here, your canine rearing and relationship coach. And in this video, I want to talk to you about the radical ways that we differ from others in the dog training business. We take deep pride in how we stand out from others, and we believe that the incredible and long-lasting and real results that are achieved by our clients are due to those differences. So, before we dive into the three ways that we differ from others in the dog training business, let me start by saying that the reason why we are so different is primarily because we focus on way of life. So, let me take a moment to define what we mean by that before I tell you about how we differ from others in the field. Way of life is about the situation, the context of a dog. It is how a dog is raised. It is how a dog is nurtured. So in other words, way of life or nurture is the balance to a dog's nature. Okay. And how do we define way of life? It includes 5 elements. Element number 1 is that we do things in stages. There's a different way of doing things when I'm getting started with a dog versus when I have a little bit more relationship and bond with that dog. Way of life includes our attitude and mindset and the kind of relationship that we have with our dog at any given moment. It includes how we manage space and boundaries inside the home and outside the home. It includes our approach to socialization. And it includes our commitment to developing a dog's unique drives and inherited tendencies. I will talk to you a little bit more in another video about way of life and particularly about the logic of the way of life method. So let me dive into the 3 ways that we are different from others in the field. Okay. Difference number 1 is that we focus on the root cause of a dog's behavior and not just the visible issues that are manifested by that dog. So others in the field, our colleagues in the field, if they have to deal with a dog with separation anxiety or reactivity, that is what they work on. They focus on healing or addressing or fixing the reactivity or the separation anxiety. Of course, we help our clients solve these problems, but we take them to the root cause of those issues. And of course, you will hear our colleagues in the business talk about the root cause or what they believe to be the root cause. And more often than not, they believe that the root cause of these many behavioral issues encountered these days are the dog's big emotions, such as anxiety, such as fear, such as dominance, perhaps. Okay. And we have to ask, well, where are those feelings coming from? We believe without a doubt that the root cause of any behavioral issue is not so much the emotions, but more so the way of life that gives rise to these emotions. And we help our clients examine their way of life, redesign it, and then with time, the issues that brought them to us get resolved from the inside out. Difference number 2 is that we do not use any of the tools, any of the techniques, or any of the training protocols that are commonly found in the mainstream dog training business. So we do not use any tools of control, not the head halters or the front clip no pull harnesses that positive reinforcement trainers don't have issues with, nor do we use the tools that the folks on the balanced side of the equation like and use, such as remote collars and prong collars and choke chains and so on. We do not use any tools. We are not for the use of tools. Tools, in our opinion, suppress, make matters worse, alienate dogs from their people. And the bottom line is that there is no real need for them if the way of life is correct. We also do not rely on reinforcement, not positive reinforcement and not positive as well as negative reinforcement. Because ultimately, when we create a way of life that makes sense to the dog, that is healthy, the dogs do the rest. And there's no need for us to condition dogs into behaving certain ways, regardless of whether we're using positive techniques to do that or whether we are using a combination of negative and positive reinforcement to achieve these goals. We do not rely on reinforcement. We do not rely on obedience training or conditioning behaviors into dogs, such as watch me, leave it, and whatever as a way of getting the dogs to behave differently. We do not resort to those training protocols and techniques because ultimately, as I said, when the way of life is healthy, the dogs become healthy. And another thing I'm going to say about that is that when we think that conditioning is the only tool that we have available, that reinforcement is the only method that we have available to change dogs' behavior, what ends up happening is that we overuse it and we over rely on it. Conditioning, you guys, by definition means no thought. And reactivity, by definition, is a dog not thinking. So our job is to create more thought in dogs, not through conditioning, but through our way of life. The other thing that we do not do that is becoming more normalized in the industry is that we do not rely on medication. And the long-term use of psychotropic medication to deal with issues such as anxiety, reactivity, fear, and so on is becoming increasingly normalized. And again, I'll talk a bit more about that in another video, but for now, suffice to say that it's important to understand that these medications do not always achieve the results that they're purported to achieve. Many of these drugs are not systematically tested on dogs, and they have many side effects. And most importantly, when I medicate a dog, ultimately, what is it that I'm saying? I'm saying that the issues lie with the dog and not with the dog's way of life. And in our approach, let us heal the way of life first, and then let's decide whether I really needed to use a control tool on the dog, whether I really needed to train all these obedience cues into the dog and condition this dog, and whether I really needed to medicate this dog. Okay, so we do not use any of those training techniques, medications, or protocols that are found in the mainstream dog training industry. And third and last difference is that we go beyond problem solving. Of course, we help our clients solve the problems that brought them to us. Of course, we do, but we go beyond that. And we help people understand what it means to really raise a dog, not train a dog for skills, but raise a dog for attitude and character and personality that lasts over the lifetime of this dog. And so not only are our clients solving their behavioral issues, but they are also preventing behavioral issues from happening because their focus is on raising a dog that is sound, that is strong, and that is spirited over the lifetime of this dog. So those are the three differences. To sum them up again for you, number one, we go to the root cause of behavioral issues and we don't just focus on the visible surface symptoms. And we know that the root cause is way of life. We do not use any training techniques, protocols, gimmicks, tools of control, or medication to address behavioral issues. And third, we go beyond problem solving and we help our clients raise sound, strong, and spirited dog that just like a healthy body fights off disease, a sound, strong, and spirited dog is immune to behavioral issues now and forever. So if those differences resonate with you and you're not very familiar yet with the way of life method, then I invite you to become a bit more familiar with the way of life method by checking out our website, grabbing a copy of the book, The Way of Life Method, How to Heal Your Relationship with Your Dog and Raise a Sound, Strong, and Spirited Companion at Any Age. And if this method speaks to you and you realize in your heart and in your gut that it provides the piece that's been missing all this time, that piece of the puzzle that we've been overlooking for a very long time, this dog's way of life, then I hope that you will join the Way of Life Method Academy when we launch in a few weeks. And I invite you to subscribe to our newsletter so that you are kept in the loop on when we are ready to launch and when it's time for you to sign up, because the Way of Life Method Academy will help you apply this unique and life-changing method to your particular situation, your particular dog, your particular lifestyle, regardless of whether you want to be the best dog parent ever, or you're about to raise a young puppy, or whether you're a foster or a rescue person, or whether you are a dog sport enthusiast and you know that you need stability and bond in your dog in order to compete, regardless where in which category or categories of these you fit, the Way of Life method is for you, and the Way of Life Method Academy will help you apply the method. So, thank you very much for listening and being with me here, and I look forward to seeing you in the next video. Bye.